In this video, we're going to look at 7 of the most common mistakes English learners make. If you can correct these small errors, you'll notice a big improvement in your English. We'll go through these 7 mistakes. Number 1. Confusing do and make. We make a promise, but we do a favor. We do the cleaning, but we make a mess. We make a joke, but we do the shopping. Knowing when to use do and when to use make isn't always easy, but there is a rule that we can use to get it right nearly every time. Generally speaking, use do for actions, jobs, and tasks. Do focuses on the process of performing the action. For example, in each of these sentences, the focus is on the action. Nothing is created. Use make when talking about creating, producing, or building something. Make focuses on the product or the outcome of an action. Here are 4 sentences that show this. In the first 2 examples, something has been created. In the last 2 examples, although nothing physical has been created, the focus is still on the outcome. Here are some common nouns we use make with. And here are some common nouns we use do with. If you can see or touch the result, most of the time you'll need to use make. If it's about effort or action, you'll need to use do. Number 2. Making mistakes with the prepositions in, on, and at. If we remember a few basic rules, we can get them right most of the time. A helpful way to think about how these prepositions are used is to imagine an upside-down pyramid, with the general at the wide top and narrowing down to the most specific at the tip. In represents the most general location or time, while at refers to something very specific. On goes in between. Let's look at how that idea works when using in, on, and at as prepositions of time. We'll start with general times and work our way down. We use in for centuries, decades, years, months, and weeks. Now let's get a little more specific. We use on for days and dates. Now let's get even more specific. We'll need at for specific parts of the day and for specific times. Now let's look at how this concept works when using in, on, and at as prepositions of place. Again, we'll start at the top of the pyramid with the general. We use in for countries, cities, and neighborhoods or enclosed spaces. We use on for streets, surfaces, and transport. Except, that is, for cars and vans. For these, we say in the car, in the van. We use at for precise places, like addresses or specific locations. Another mistake that people often make with prepositions is forgetting to use them all together. In English, some verbs require specific prepositions to indicate direction, location, or purpose. For example, interested in, afraid of, listen to, speak with, depend on, look forward to, go to, listen to, wait for. Let's correct these mistakes you might commonly hear. Instead of she goes school, we say she goes to school. Instead of he is interested music, we say he is interested in music. Instead of I'm waiting you, we say I'm waiting for you. Instead of I am afraid snakes, we say I am afraid of snakes. To avoid these mistakes, it's a good idea to study common expressions, such as these, that require specific prepositions. Number 3. A mistake English learners often make is forgetting to change the word order when asking questions. When asking a question, the usual word order of a sentence changes. In a statement, the subject comes before the verb, but in a question, the auxiliary or modal verb comes before the subject. We don't say, she is working today. We say, is she working today? We don't say, what he was doing. We say, what was he doing? We don't say, who we can ask for help. We say, who can we ask for help? And notice that the main verb stays after the subject. For example, we don't say, when will arrive the package? We say, when will the package arrive? Number 4. Another common mistake learners make is using past tense after the auxiliary verb did. These sentences are incorrect because after the word did, past tense has been used. Knew, saw, and went. When we use the word did, the main verb always stays in its base form. Let's fix up these sentences. She didn't know the answer. Jane didn't see me. Did you go to the beach? Number 5. Incorrect pronunciation of ed. We add ed to the end of regular verbs to form the past tense. The ed ending is pronounced in one of 3 ways: d, t, and id. The ending sound of the base word tells us which of these sounds to use. Take these 4 verbs, and here is the base word of each. If the base word ends in a vowel sound, as in try, or if the base word ends in a voiced consonant sound, as in plan, we use the d sound. Tried, planned. If the base word ends in an unvoiced consonant, such as finish, we use the t sound. Finished. If the base word ends with the sound d or t, as in visit, we pronounce the ed as id. Visited. It's common for learners to mistakenly use the id pronunciation for words that should end in a t sound. We don't say watched, we say watched. We don't say stopped, we say stopped. We don't say missed, we say missed. Number 6. Mistakes with articles. One common mistake with articles is forgetting to use the with superlative adjectives. We use the before superlatives because they describe something as the most or least in a category, meaning it is unique, one of a kind. The definite article the is needed to reflect this. He is the best student in the class. That was the worst date I have ever had. Another common mistake with articles is using the when making a general statement about things in a broad sense. For example, if I want to say I like pizza in general, as a type of food, I don't say I like the pizza. That's wrong. That sounds like I'm referring to a specific pizza. Maybe one I just ate, or one from a particular place. To say that I like pizza in general, I don't use an article. I would say, I like pizza. Another mistake often made is forgetting to use articles when describing someone's job. For example, if we're talking about someone's job or position, we almost always use a or an before a singular countable noun. Let's fix up these sentences. Are you a lawyer? James is a teacher. I am a student. If there is only one person in a particular role, we use the. For example, she is the manager. Number 7. The quantifiers many and much are often confused. These two words describe the quantity or the amount of something. Many and much, however, can't be used in place of each other. Many can only be used with countable nouns. Much can only be used with uncountable nouns. Let's work out which of these two words we would need with these nouns. Oil, egg, and cup, flour are countable because they are individual units with clear boundaries. Each has a singular form and a plural form. For countable nouns, we use many. For example, how many eggs are in the carton? There are too many cups for the shelf. Oil and flour are uncountable because they refer to substances or concepts that are not easily counted individually. For uncountable nouns, we use much. For example, there is not much oil in the pan. How much flour is left? These are 7 mistakes commonly made by English learners. But what about you? What do you find most challenging about learning English? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for following along, and I hope to see you soon for the next lesson. EasyTeaching.net